A Boeing quality manager warns that 1 in 4 oxygen masks on new planes could fail in an emergency. Days into his testimony against the company, John Barnett is found dead. His phone and files are missing. Internal Boeing messages called their jets designed by clowns, supervised by monkeys. If whistleblowers keep dying, who holds Boeing accountable for the 346 lives already lost? Or for the next disaster? The story starts with 2 crashes and a witness silenced. On October 29, 2018, Lion Air Flight 610 plunged into the Java Sea just minutes after takeoff. Less than 5 months later, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 crashed outside Addis Ababa. Both disasters involved the Boeing 737 MAX, and together they claimed 346 lives. Investigators traced the cause to a software system called MCAS, Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System, secretly added to the jet's controls. MCAS relied on a single angle of attack sensor. And when that sensor failed, the software forced the plane's nose down again and again, leaving pilots with no way out. Boeing had kept the existence of MCAS hidden from airlines and pilots. And the FAA approved the system based on information provided by Boeing itself. Internal company messages, later revealed to Congress, showed engineers warning, "This airplane is designed by clowns, supervised by monkeys." As the world demanded answers, the search for truth turned to the people inside Boeing who tried to sound the alarm, and the price they paid for speaking up. John Barnett spent more than 3 decades inside Boeing, rising to quality manager at the South Carolina Dreamliner plant. In 2017, he filed a formal complaint with federal regulators, warning that the company was pushing defective parts onto new jets to keep production moving. His most alarming finding: 1 in 4 oxygen masks on the 787 could fail in an emergency, a risk Boeing's own internal investigation later confirmed. Barnett refused to back down, documenting his concerns through OSHA filings and internal memos. By March 2024, he was in Charleston for a legal deposition, set to answer questions under oath about years of ignored warnings and retaliation. On March 9th, just as the deposition process was underway, Barnett was found dead in his truck outside his hotel. The coroner ruled it a suicide. His lawyers and family challenged the official story, pointing to missing documents and a phone that vanished after his death. No one has explained what happened to the evidence Barnett fought so hard to preserve. Ed Pearson, a former senior manager at Boeing, warned of chaos on the 737 MAX production line, raising alarms about ignored test results and relentless pressure to meet delivery targets. Joshua Dean, an auditor at Spirit Aerosystems, reported dangerous defects in 737 fuselage assemblies. After he pressed his concerns, Dean was fired. Within a year, he died suddenly at age 45 from a severe infection. Sam Salahpour, a veteran engineer, flagged structural flaws on the 787 Dreamliner and described being threatened and told to stay silent. Each of these men tried to alert Boeing and regulators to risks that could endanger lives. Instead, they faced retaliation, intimidation, or worse. Together, their stories reveal a chilling pattern. Inside Boeing, those who speak up are often silenced or left fighting for their reputations and safety. Behind closed doors at Boeing, a different story played out. It never reached the public until it was too late. In 2016, a company engineer fired off a message that would later surface in congressional exhibits. "This airplane is designed by clowns supervised by monkeys." The line was not a joke, but a frustrated warning about the chaos inside the 737 MAX program. Internal emails and chat logs showed managers brushing aside safety concerns, rushing production, and mocking regulators. Boeing's power over the certification process was no accident. Under FAA rules, the company could self-approve critical systems through a structure called Organization Designation Authorization, ODA. This meant engineers with Boeing paychecks could sign off on safety features, often under pressure to deliver jets on time. The very people raising alarms found themselves ignored or sidelined as management treated warnings as obstacles, not lifelines. When safety is left in the hands of those with the most to lose, concealment becomes a way of doing business. In January 2021, the Department of Justice and Boeing reached a deferred prosecution agreement. The company admitted to misleading regulators about MCAS, but executives avoided criminal charges. Boeing paid a $2.5 billion settlement, an amount that equaled just 2 weeks of its annual revenue. No one in senior management was held personally accountable. Senators in a 2024 hearing pressed Department of Justice officials to explain why critical evidence had been buried and why families of crash victims were not consulted. The official line described the agreement as justice served, yet the Senate record and public transcripts tell a different story: a corporation shielded, a culture of concealment untouched, and a penalty that did little to change the system that failed so many. On January 5, 2024, Alaska Airlines Flight 1282 ripped open at 16,000 feet. The NTSB preliminary report does not mince words. 4 bolts meant to secure the mid-cabin door plug were simply missing. No fatigue, no hidden fracture, just hardware that was never installed. That single oversight sent a wall of air roaring through the cabin and forced an emergency landing. Boeing's stock plummeted nearly 25% in the weeks that followed, erasing billions in value. The FAA responded by freezing any expansion of 737 MAX production, demanding proof of real fixes before allowing a single new jet to roll out. For investigators, it was tangible evidence that the same shortcuts and ignored warnings that haunted Barnett and others still put lives at risk. Each missing bolt was a silent echo of every red flag that went unheeded. Sealed safety reports remain locked away, their findings hidden from the public and even from some investigators. No one outside Boeing or the FAA knows how many internal warnings have been filed or how many were quietly dismissed. Freedom of Information Act requests pile up, waiting for answers that may never come. The FAA's own audit backlog stretches for months, leaving critical oversight questions unresolved. Did anyone ever review the full list of missing or defective parts? Who authorized the removal of key safety steps on the assembly line? With so much evidence kept behind closed doors, the most urgent questions still hang in the air. Who is watching the watchers and what else remains buried? Boeing's backlog of $32 billion meant every delay threatened not just profits, but its hold on global aviation. Financial filings laid out the stakes, pressure to deliver fast and at any cost, pushed from boardroom to factory floor. Meanwhile, the line between regulator and regulated faded. FAA, officials who once oversaw Boeing, later joined its ranks, while former Boeing executives moved to the agency. Personnel records and disclosures reveal a revolving door where oversight often softened into accommodation. With billions at stake and the same people shaping both rules and enforcement, safety warnings became speed bumps. The system rewards risk and shields those at the top, leaving engineers and whistleblowers to bear the burden of decisions made far above. Today, whistleblowers vanish and questions multiply. Boeing's own engineer wrote that it was designed by clowns supervised by monkeys. Until truth trumps profit, no passenger can trust what flies above them.